The shattered sky. The night was too quiet. Above Earth, where satellites drifted like dust in a vast cosmic sea, a tear opened in the fabric of space itself. It wasn't just light, it was hunger, a wound spilling violet energy into the void. From inside that storm, something emerged. A figure, cloaked in burning starlight, his veins pulsing silver fire, his armor scorched with alien marks. Solarion. But this was not the Solarion humanity remembered, the cosmic warrior who once fought alongside Nebula Man. This Solarion's aura had twisted. His crimson cape dragged like spilled blood, and his starburst emblem glowed black, a corrupted star sucking light instead of radiating it. His eyes, once filled with resolve, now burned with venomous green flame. He carried something. Clutched against his armored chest was a massive, jagged capsule, like a meteor wrapped in bone. It pulsed. Inside, faint shadows stirred. Eggs. The underground breach. Half a world away, deep in the Himalayan range, a quiet tremor rolled through the mountains. Locals whispered of gods in the stone, but what rumbled beneath their villages wasn't divine. It was monstrous. Solarion arrived there in silence, his boots cracking frozen earth as he touched down. He raised one hand, and cosmic energy splintered the mountain like glass. Rock tore apart, avalanches rained down, and from the hollow womb of earth came the sound no human should ever hear. Eggs cracking. Hundreds of them, some the size of cars, others the size of houses. Their shells glistened with molten heat, pulsing with radioactive veins. The earth smelled of sulfur and death. And when the first claw punched through an eggshell, the world above shook. They were not normal creatures. They were not dinosaurs. They were not even lizards. They were Godzilla broodlings, alien-born, insectal kaiju with armored hides, spines that glowed like molten rivers, and jaws lined with 3 sets of teeth. Each step they took sent quakes through the mountain. Solarion stood over them like a shepherd, raising his arms as though he had birthed them himself. "Awaken, my children," he whispered, his voice echoing with an alien resonance. This world was never theirs. It was meant for you. The arrival of Nebula Man. But far above Earth, a different light stirred. Nebula Man, guardian of cosmic balance, had sensed the fracture hours before. He descended through the atmosphere like a comet, his violet cape whipping behind him, his navy armor glowing with shifting nebula patterns. His white eyes blazed, his aura sparking with galaxies in miniature. When he landed in the ruined Himalayas, the ground cratered beneath his boots. He looked up, scanning the storm-filled sky. And then he saw him. Solarion. Nebula Man's voice was heavy with both shock and sorrow. "What have you done?" Solarion turned, smirking, his corrupted aura swirling like black fire. "What I was always meant to do, brother. I brought back the true heirs of Earth." He motioned behind him, where dozens, no, hundreds, of broodlings climbed free from the mountain, their eyes glowing toxic green, their spines rattling as they roared into the night. "You call them monsters," Solarion continued, "but they are the future. They will burn away the weakness of mankind and forge a new kingdom." Nebula Man clenched his fists. The cosmic energy around him flared, forming a shield of light. "You've betrayed everything we fought for. You've betrayed me." Solarion's grin widened. "No, brother. I've simply stopped pretending." The first clash. The broodlings lunged first. From the shattered mountainside, 3 of the towering beasts thundered forward, their armored claws carving trenches through the earth. Nebula Man reacted instantly. With a flash of cosmic energy, he leapt into the air, cape snapping like a whip, and hurled himself straight into the lead creature. Boom! The impact sent shockwaves across the valley. One broodling crashed backward, tumbling into jagged rocks, but the other 2 pounced. Their spines flared, and streams of radioactive fire blasted into the night. Nebula Man raised his arms, his cosmic aura absorbing the first blast, but the second ripped through his shield, searing his armor with smoking scars. He growled, pushing harder, and unleashed a surge of nebula energy. A starburst of violet light detonated from his chest, blasting the creatures back into the mountain walls. Solarion only laughed. Still fighting for them? For humans who cower in their cities, who choke the stars with smoke. Let them be consumed. Human panic. Miles below, in the valleys, villages had already erupted into chaos. Families fled their homes as the ground split open. Road cracked. Rivers boiled. Entire cliffsides crumbled as broodlings crawled free like an unstoppable swarm. Helicopters rose into the air, searchlights sweeping the devastation. Soldiers fired missiles, but the weapons only bounced off the broodlings' armored hides. Jets streaked overhead, unleashing payloads that detonated in blinding fireballs. For a brief moment, the air was filled with explosions, and then the broodlings roared. Radiation storms burst from their throats, vaporizing tanks, incinerating forests, and sending entire squadrons spiraling from the sky. One beast stomped through a village, flattening houses with a single sweep of its claws. Screams echoed through the valley as fire consumed the night. The Godzilla Brood had arrived on Earth. Betrayal unveiled. Nebula Man fought fiercely, his fists glowing with nebula energy as he battered one broodling after another. Each strike cracked armor. Each blast tore through spines. But there were too many. For every one that fell, 3 more emerged from the mountain's depths. He turned back to Solarion, desperation in his eyes. Why? Why give yourself to this madness? Solarion's grin was cold. His corrupted starburst emblem pulsed like a black hole. Because humanity was always doomed. I am simply accelerating their end. And when they are gone, this world will be reborn in fire. With a roar, Solarion surged forward, colliding with Nebula Man in a blast of cosmic energy. Their auras clashed, violet nebula against blackened starlight, sending shockwaves that shattered mountainsides and split rivers. The two cosmic warriors locked fists, each pushing with power that could crack planets. You are no longer my brother, Nebula Man growled. Solarion's grin turned to fury. Then die with them. The shadow of what's coming. As they fought, deep beneath the earth something stirred. The broodlings were not alone. In the caverns far below, beyond the reach of human sight, a much larger shadow shifted. An ancient queen, massive, horned, armored with scales like continents, opened one glowing red eye. The mother of the brood. Her children's cries had awakened her, and when she rose, the earth itself would split. Nebula Man didn't know it yet. Humanity didn't know it yet. But the Godzilla Brood was not just an invasion. It was an extinction, and this was only the beginning. Descent into the Brood. The sun had barely risen, yet the Himalayan peaks were already shrouded in smoke and ash. Villages that had stood for centuries were reduced to rubble, rivers boiled, and mountains gaped open like wounds. Humanity watched in terror as creatures no bigger than buildings, the Godzilla broodlings, scuttled across valleys, their glowing spines reflecting the eerie green radiation that coated the sky. Nebula Man hovered above the devastation, cosmic aura flickering violently. Every fiber of his being screamed at him to act, to save lives, to stop the monstrous swarm. Yet he could not ignore the real danger lurking beneath. The corrupted Solarion who had brought these horrors to Earth. Milky Way into the underground. The ground shook violently. A massive fissure tore through the valley, exposing the dark cavern beneath. Nebula Man's eyes narrowed. The hatchery, he's feeding them from below. With a flash, he dove into the gaping chasm, nebula energy streaming from his hands to cushion his fall. Rocks exploded around him as he descended into a labyrinth of molten tunnels. The walls pulsed with alien energy, glowing veins running like rivers of fire. The air smelled of ozone and sulfur. Below, the broodlings were multiplying at an alarming rate. New eggs hatched with shrill cries, creatures crawling immediately to attack. Nebula Man's chains flared, slashing through dozens of them in a blur of violet light. Yet for every one destroyed, 2 more appeared, driven by the energy radiating from Solarion's corrupted starburst emblem. This is an army, Nebula Man muttered, sweat and cosmic energy dripping from his brow. And it's just the beginning. High-voltage Solarion's plan unfolds. Deep in the cavern, atop a crystalline spire, alien Solarion hovered, observing the chaos. His blackened starburst emblem pulsed with corrupted energy, feeding every broodling around him. "You fight for them, brother," Solarion whispered, voice echoing through the tunnels, "but they are weak. Humanity cannot survive. Only my brood, only these creatures can inherit this planet." He extended his hand, and a massive Godzilla hatchling leaped into the cavern. Its spines are jagged, molten red veins glowing, jaws snapping as it roared. Nebula Man barely dodged, slashing a cosmic chain across its neck. "Brother, you're insane," Nebula Man shouted, launching into a spinning assault. Cosmic energy tore through the cavern, knocking hatchlings against walls. Yet the cavern seemed infinite. The bridlings multiplied faster than he could destroy them. New Moon, the human factor. Far above, news feeds streamed live footage of the destruction. Cities were evacuated, but panic spread faster than the brood. Military forces tried to coordinate, launching missiles and laser artillery, but the creatures adapted. Even experimental quantum weapons bounced harmlessly off their armored hides. In one coastal city, a squad of survivors huddled in an underground bunker. Children screamed as a hatchling broke through the roof, smoke and debris filling the room. Suddenly, a streak of violet light appeared overhead. Nebula Man descended like a meteor, grabbing the creature and hurling it back into the shadows. "Stay alive," he warned. "The real threat is below." Dragon Mother approaches. As Nebula Man continued his descent, the tunnels widened, revealing something massive stirring in the darkness. The mother Godzilla lay coiled within a nest of glowing eggs. Her scales were iridescent black with molten cracks, eyes glowing with crimson rage. Hatchlings climbed over her back, but she barely moved, sensing Solarion's energy. Nebula Man's jaw tightened. This is bigger than I imagined. One of her children alone destroyed half the valley. What will happen when she awakens? He raised his chains, energy flaring. The bridlings surged toward him, but he was ready. His aura exploded in violet light, slashing the creatures into pieces, scattering molten fragments across the cavern floor. High-voltage clash with Solarion. Suddenly, Solarion swooped down, wings of energy spread wide, green flame blazing. "You are too late," he roared. "The mother will rise, and nothing can stop her." Nebula Man's chain struck first, wrapping around Solarion's legs, pulling him to the cavern floor. Solarion laughed, tearing free with a pulse of corrupted energy. He fired a blast of black star energy, obliterating part of the cavern wall. Rocks and molten stone rained down. "Stop! You're destroying the planet before even the brood can hatch," Nebula Man shouted. He dodged a blast, countering with a Nova Chain strike across Solarion's chest. Sparks flew, energy crackling violently. The two cosmic forces collided midair, sending shockwaves that flattened tunnels and scorched the cavern walls. Hatchlings scattered, some attacking Nebula Man, some driven into a frenzy by Solarion's aura. Milky Way Nebula Man's strategy. Realizing a direct assault would not work, Nebula Man shifted tactics. He focused on the eggs. Using cosmic resonance, he amplified his nebula chains to generate a frequency that destabilized the shells of the bridlings. Crack, crack, crack. One by one, some of the eggs broke prematurely, but the resulting hatchlings were weak, confused, and slower. Nebula Man swung, chains striking like meteor storms, thinning the swarm. Solarion growled in fury. "You dare interfere with creation itself?" "I dare," Nebula Man shot back, "because creation doesn't belong to you." New Moon escape of the mother. Suddenly, a massive rumble shook the cavern. The mother Godzilla had awakened. Her roar echoed like a war horn, shattering stalactites. Hatchlings scattered to join her side, leaving Nebula Man and Solarion in a deadly arena of chaos. The mother raised her massive head, eyes blazing crimson, and let out a pulse of molten energy that blew Nebula Man backward. He hit the cavern wall, cracking his armor. Solarion stood atop a rock, cackling. You see now? You cannot win. Nebula Man's gaze hardened. Despite the crushing odds, he rose, chains flaring brighter than ever. His aura swirled like a galaxy collapsing into a star. This fight isn't over, he said. I will stop you, and I will save Earth. The cavern erupted. Hatchlings swarmed toward Nebula Man, the mother Godzilla's roar shaking the mountains above. Solarion hovered above, pulsing with corrupted cosmic energy, ready to strike. Nebula Man clenched his fists, glowing with all the power he had left. The battle was far from over, and the fate of Earth rested on his shoulders. Above, the sky darkened. The world would never be the same. The Mother awakens. The cavern trembled violently. Every step Nebula Man took sent shards of molten rock flying. Hatchlings screamed and scattered like a living storm, but Nebula Man's eyes were locked on the true threat. The Mother Godzilla, her massive form coiled around hundreds of eggs, spines glowing molten red, eyes burning with crimson fire. The air was thick with ozone and sulfur. The sound of cracking stone and screaming hatchlings filled the tunnels. Nebula Man clenched his fists, cosmic energy swirling around him. His violet aura flared, sending waves of light through the cavern. This was no longer about stopping hatchlings. This was about facing an unstoppable god. High-voltage Solarian's command. Perched atop a jagged stalagmite, alien Solarion watched with glee. His blackened, starburst emblem pulsed violently as he extended his hands toward the brood. Hatchlings surged forward, their cries amplified by the corrupted energy streaming from Solarion. Do you see it, Nebula Man? Solarion taunted. The power I have brought to this world. These are not monsters. They're the next rulers of this planet. And soon, so will I be. Nebula Man growled. You've destroyed everything we fought for. You've turned this Earth into a nursery of death. Solarion's grin widened. I've given it purpose. The two cosmic beings clashed in a burst of energy, their strikes sending shockwaves that shattered cavern walls and sent molten rock flying like shrapnel. Nebula Man's chains wrapped around Solarion's limbs, attempting to bind him, but the corrupted warrior shrugged them off effortlessly, his laughter echoing like a warped symphony. Milky Way the Brood unleashed. From the cavern's depths, the hatchlings surged in a living tidal wave, their claws shredding stone, spines radiating molten heat. Nebula Man launched himself into the swarm, violet chains slicing through armored bodies, detonating bursts of nebula energy with every strike. But there were too many. For every hatchling destroyed, two more emerged. The cavern seemed endless, a nightmare landscape of fire, rock, and glowing eyes. Then a low rumble shook the cavern. Everything froze for a heartbeat. The Mother Godzilla lifted her massive head, wings unfolding, spines cracking like volcanic mountains. Her roar echoed through the mountains above, a sound that shook the earth itself. Even the broodlings paused, bowing instinctively before their queen. Nebula Man's eyes narrowed. This was no ordinary fight. If he failed here, all of Earth would fall. New Moon strategic strike. Nebula Man took a deep breath, letting the cosmic energy flow through him. His chains crackled, forming patterns of starfire. He darted between hatchlings with breathtaking speed, striking at the eggs' cores to destabilize them before they could hatch fully. Crack! 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 Some eggs erupted prematurely, hatchlings emerging weak and confused. Nebula Man focused on the weakest broodlings, throwing them into the molten walls of the cavern. Solarion roared, blasting through rocks with black star energy. Stop interfering. They're my legacy. Nebula Man's jaw clenched. They're your weapon, and weapons have no loyalty. He swung, launching a cosmic chain strike that wrapped around Solarion's neck, but the corrupted warrior laughed, black flames erupting from his body, blasting Nebula Man backward. Fire first face-to-face with the Mother. The ground cracked beneath Nebula Man's feet as the Mother Godzilla began moving. Her claws dug deep into the cavern floor, molten spines sparking as she rose. Her wings spread, knocking down stalagmites like matchsticks. She let out a pulse of energy, a molten beam that tore a tunnel in the rock, heating the cavern to unbearable levels. Nebula Man barely avoided the blast, his aura flaring violently. "This is beyond anything I imagined," he muttered. One of her children alone devastated a village. Imagine the queen herself. The mother's massive jaws opened, revealing a glowing molten core, and she lunged forward. Hatchlings surged behind her, forming a wall of death. Nebula Man braced, violet energy flaring, ready for the fight of his life. High-voltage cosmic duel. Nebula Man leapt high into the air, chains spinning like comets, slashing through the broodlings and keeping the mother at bay. Each strike shook the cavern. He collided with Solarion midair. Their cosmic powers collided, sending molten rock flying, disintegrating hatchlings caught in the explosion. "You were supposed to protect this world," Nebula Man shouted. "I am creating it." Solarion shot back. Black flames coiled around his arms, melting rock and metal alike. "This Earth is mine now, and your interference will end here." The fight escalated, cosmic chains against black star energy, hatchlings torn apart mid-flight, molten walls collapsing. Nebula Man realized brute force alone wouldn't be enough. He needed a plan, a way to weaken both Solarion and the mother simultaneously. New Moon, a dangerous gamble. Nebula Man focused his energy, letting the cosmic aura extend outward like a nebulous storm. He whispered to the hatchlings, feeling their alien instinct. "Disperse, confuse, divide." The broodlings hesitated, sensing the mother's energy, but also the overwhelming cosmic force of Nebula Man. Confusion spread. Some turned on each other. Some froze. Nebula Man seized the opportunity, striking the mother Godzilla with a chain infused with nebula resonance. The molten energy cracked along her scales, forcing her to roar in pain. Solarion's eyes widened in shock. "Impossible." Nebula Man struck again, this time hitting the corrupted Solarion's chest, sending him crashing into a cavern wall. Rocks tumbled, lava erupted, and hatchlings scattered in fear. The cavern was in chaos. Hatchlings screamed and scattered. The mother Godzilla staggered, and Solarion struggled to rise. Nebula Man stood, battered but unbroken, chains glowing like twin galaxies. "Your reign ends here," he shouted, preparing for the next wave of attacks. The mother Godzilla let out another roar, louder and deeper than before, while Solarion's black star energy flared, forming an aura of pure destruction. Nebula Man's gaze hardened. This was far from over. The ultimate battle was just beginning. Above ground, the world trembled. Humanity had no idea what was about to descend upon them. Inferno rising. The cavern had become a hellscape. Lava spouted from fissures. Molten rocks rained from the ceiling, and the roar of the mother Godzilla echoed like a rolling apocalypse. Hatchlings scrambled in every direction, their glowing spines cutting through the smoky darkness. Nebula Man hovered above the chaos, cosmic chains glowing like twin galaxies wrapped around him. His armor bore cracks from repeated blasts, but his resolve remained unbroken. Every nerve screamed urgency. Every moment wasted would allow Solarion's brood to multiply and the mother Godzilla to rise unchecked. High-voltage Solarion's final stand. Perched atop a massive spire of molten rock, alien Solarion glared at Nebula Man. His blackened starburst emblem pulsed violently, feeding energy to the brood. Hatchlings surged around him like shadows, climbing the walls, screeching and snapping. "You cannot stop this, Nebula Man," Solarion shouted. "This world was never meant to survive. Bow to the power I've brought." Nebula Man's eyes blazed. "This world isn't yours to destroy." With a roar, Nebula Man lunged, chains slashing through hatchlings, scattering them. Solarion responded, black star energy erupting from his hands, melting the cavern walls in a wave of green fire. The collision of cosmic energy and corrupted star power sent shockwaves, opening new fissures and sending molten rivers cascading. New Moon, the mother's rampage. From her nest, The mother Godzilla rose fully, wings spreading wide, her molten scales reflecting the fiery light. Her roar was deafening, echoing through the mountains above, shaking Earth itself. Hatchlings raced to her side, forming a wall of flesh, spikes, and molten energy. Nebula Man's heart pounded. She was larger than anything he had faced before, a living mountain with molten veins, wings capable of creating hurricane-like blasts, and claws that could crush tanks in a single swipe. He took a deep breath, letting cosmic energy flow through him. His violet aura expanded, pushing back the nearest hatchlings, burning them with nebula resonance. But it was clear, direct assault alone wouldn't work. He needed strategy. Fire cosmic tactics. Nebula Man focused, unleashing a nebula frequency pulse designed to destabilize the broodlings' neural patterns. Hatchlings began turning on each other, confusion spreading like wildfire. Solarian's eyes narrowed. What were you doing? I'm cutting off your army at the source, Nebula Man said, soaring through the swarm, striking at the mother's legs, spines, and wings with calculated precision. Cosmic chains wrapped around her legs, trying to slow her massive steps. The mother roared in fury, swiping her tail through molten rock, sending Nebula Man crashing into a wall. Smoke and sparks filled the air. High-voltage Solarion versus Nebula Man. Alien Solarion descended like a meteor, green flames coiling around him. "You will not win, brother," he screamed, slamming into Nebula Man midair. Their collision sent a blast of cosmic energy and molten rock cascading down the cavern. Hatchlings scattered, some crushed under falling debris. Nebula Man gritted his teeth. This ends now. He spun his chains at full velocity, wrapping around Solarion, yanking him toward a molten fissure. Solarion countered with a blast of black energy, melting the chains in an explosion of fire and light. The two cosmic warriors clashed, their powers igniting the cavern. Every strike sent molten debris flying. Nebula Man knew he could not destroy Solarion outright without risking the mother Godzilla unleashing her full wrath. He needed to outsmart him. Milky Way, the ultimate gamble. Nebula Man's mind raced. The mother Godzilla's attention was primarily on him, her broodlings assisting in defense. Solarion's power surged as he prepared a cataclysmic blast designed to wipe out both Nebula Man and a section of the cavern. Nebula Man acted. With a leap, he wrapped Solarion in multiple chains, binding him in a web of nebula energy. "You've underestimated the cosmos," he growled. He extended his aura outward, focusing a concentrated cosmic pulse on the mother Godzilla. The energy resonated with her molten spines, creating an explosive chain reaction that forced her to stagger backward. Hatchlings screeched, disoriented by the cosmic frequency. Solarion struggled within the chains. "No, this isn't possible." Nebula Man's aura flared brighter, blindingly bright. "Your brood won't rise today, Solarion." New moon collapse of the cavern. The combined effect of nebula resonance and disoriented broodlings caused the cavern to fracture violently. Rocks and molten stone collapsed, sending Solarion tumbling into a fissure. He let out a scream of rage as molten rock sealed part of the cavern behind him. The mother Godzilla, partially stunned and uncoordinated, stumbled backward into a cluster of unstable eggs. Nebula Man struck one last chain, shattering the eggs and scattering molten fragments. Hatchlings panicked, and the mother's roar became one of fury and confusion. Nebula Man hovered, exhausted but unbroken, violet aura flaring in the smoke-filled cavern. "This isn't over," he warned, staring down the mother Godzilla. "But I bought time for Earth." The cavern began collapsing around Nebula Man. Molten rivers and shattered rock forced him to leap, using his cosmic chains to swing through the crumbling tunnels. Hatchlings scattered in every direction, and the mother Godzilla retreated slightly, nursing her wounds. Above, the sky was still dark with radiation from Solarion's previous attacks. Smoke and fire lit the mountains in an eerie crimson glow. Nebula Man knew the final battle was approaching. Solarion had survived, The mother Godzilla was still alive, and the brood could recover at any moment. He clenched his fists, cosmic energy swirling. "Tomorrow, I end this," he whispered. The cosmic reckoning. The sky above the Himalayan ruins was ablaze with fire and radioactive storms. Smoke choked the valleys below, rivers of molten rock carved through what remained of villages, and distant mountains quivered under the mother Godzilla's roars. Nebula Man hovered above the devastation, violet aura flaring like a collapsing galaxy. His armor bore countless scratches and burns, but his resolve had never been stronger. This was it, the final battle, the ultimate confrontation between cosmic hero, corrupted Solarion, and the awakened mother Godzilla. High-voltage Solarion emerges. From the fissure that had trapped him in Part 4, alien Solarion erupted, black flames tearing through rock as he soared skyward. His eyes blazed green, and his blackened starburst emblem pulsed violently, feeding the energy of the remaining broodlings. "You cannot stop me, Nebula Man," Solarion shouted, energy crackling around him like an alien storm. "This world is mine. These creatures are my children." Nebula Man clenched his fists, cosmic energy sparking from his armor. "Your children are monsters, Solarion, and I am their reckoning." With a burst of speed, Nebula Man darted forward, chains blazing like twin comets, striking Solarion in midair. The impact sent shockwaves through the mountains, shaking molten rock and scattering hatchlings. New Moon, the mother Godzilla, descends. Far below, the mother Godzilla descended from her lair, wings spread, spines blazing, her molten core glowing like a miniature sun. Her roar echoed across the valley, a sound that shook the very air. Hatchlings surged to her side, but Nebula Man was ready. He raised his chains, spinning them with precision, cutting through dozens of broodlings as he soared toward the mother. Cosmic energy pulses blasted from him, creating force fields that deflected molten blasts. The mother Godzilla swung her massive tail, forcing Nebula Man to dodge, narrowly avoiding being crushed. Her jaws opened, molten breath streaming forth like a river of lava, scorching the mountainside. Nebula Man twisted midair, chains striking her legs, attempting to slow her advance. She roared in fury, scattering hatchlings and rocks alike. Fire cosmic battle. Nebula Man and Solarion collided midair, their powers exploding outward in a storm of light and shadow. Nebula Man's violet aura clashed with Solarion's black star energy, sending shockwaves across the valley. Hatchlings were caught in the crossfire, thrown into molten rivers, disintegrating instantly. "You were supposed to protect this world," Nebula Man shouted. "I'm its rebirth," Solarion countered, unleashing a beam of green star energy. Nebula Man barely deflected it with his cosmic chains, the energy melting rock and igniting lava. The mother Godzilla roared again, her massive form launching a crushing attack. Nebula Man split his focus, using nebula resonance to destabilize the hatchlings, confuse the mother, and strike Solarion simultaneously. Milky Way turning the tide. Nebula Man's strategy was precise. He focused a nebula resonance pulse that amplified his chain's energy, targeting the corrupted Solarion first. The chains wrapped around him, cutting through his armor and draining black star energy. Solarion screamed, energy sputtering. "Impossible! You can't contain me." "Yes, I can," Nebula Man said, voice resolute. "I will save this world and end your tyranny." With a final cosmic strike, Nebula Man hurled Solarion into a molten fissure, sealing it with energy that no cosmic force could penetrate. For the first time, Solarion's reign of terror was halted. New Moon Mother Godzilla's defeat. With Solarion neutralized, Nebula Man turned to the Mother Godzilla. The massive creature roared, molten energy pulsating, ready to crush everything in her path. Nebula Man dove toward her, chains spinning at maximum velocity, striking her spines with nebula resonance. Each strike destabilized her energy, sending pulses through her molten veins. The Mother Godzilla staggered, roared, and tried to retaliate, but Nebula Man's cosmic precision left her unable to focus. He launched a series of powerful chain strikes, each connecting with her core, forcing her to collapse onto one knee. Finally, Nebula Man unleashed a concentrated Nebula Nova blast at the Mother Godzilla's molten core. The explosion was blinding, shaking mountains and sending molten rivers cascading. Hatchlings panicked and fled. The massive creature let out one final deafening roar before collapsing into the molten earth, subdued but alive, her destructive energy neutralized. Fire aftermath. The cavern collapsed in fiery ruins. Hatchlings were scattered or trapped under debris. Lava cooled slowly, smoke rising into the sky like a testament to the catastrophic battle. Nebula Man hovered above the wreckage, armor battered but aura still blazing with cosmic light. His chains slowly retracted, circling him like a protective shield. The mountains were scarred, the valleys ravaged, but humanity had survived. Above, the sun began to pierce through the smoke. The world was battered, but not broken. Nebula Man let out a long breath, looking at the ruins below. "Earth is safe for now," he whispered, "but I will always be here to protect it from those who would bring darkness." Milky Way closing cinematic. In the distance, Solarian's sealed fissure still glowed faintly, a warning that the corrupted warrior may rise again. The Mother Godzilla's massive form rested in molten rock, calm but alive, a reminder that the Earth would forever harbor the remnants of cosmic terror. Nebula Man's violet aura flared one last time, sending light across the valleys. Hatchlings scattered into shadows, the Mother Godzilla subdued, Solarion defeated. The world survived, but scars remained. Above, the sky cleared. The mountains trembled no longer. Nebula Man looked to the horizon, vigilant, ready for the next cosmic threat. And somewhere, deep beneath the earth, other eggs stirred, hinting at future conflicts yet to come.